Welcome to the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast, bringing you fishing tips, gear reviews, tournament news, and more. Featured guests from all over the nation. Now, 1 hour of live streaming via Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Here's your host, John Rapp. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast. We have been keeping the airways hot the past week. This is our fourth episode since last Tuesday. We have been, or I should say, I have been keeping the roads hot. Spent some time down in Eastport Marina with Richard DeVry and his family and on his beautiful resort, hanging out with the Paddle and Fin crew. So let's before we get to the Paddle and Fin wrap up, got a few things that I wanna point out to you here. Let's take a look at this real quick. West Virginia Kayak Anglers has an event coming up, and I want to make sure you guys are aware of everything going on. It's on Stonewall, and so we got some information that we'll put out there. Make sure you go look at the Tourney X feed that Greg's got up. The event headquarters is going to be at Mountaineer RV Outdoor Center, the new complex at Jane Lou. Okay, make sure you guys are aware. Greg is not going to be doing an in-person captain's meeting. It's going to be a live online on the WVKA page. So at 8 p.m. But pre-fishing ends Friday at 3 p.m. So you need to be off the water by 3 p.m. Or you might as well just go on home, I guess. But there's the times and dates and everything right now. Get signed up. Still got plenty of time. Right now it looks like we got 40 anglers signed up from WVKA. And if you are not a member of this event, you can fish. There's just when you sign up, it'll ask you if you're a member or not, and then you pay the extra $5 or $10 to fish the event. So anyway, let's go back here. Switch gears. Share the show, like the show, so I can see who's liking. Hey, Jonathan Cart, thank you, brother. For liking and sharing and all the above. We got 3 viewers on right now. I got a great lineup again. You guys are familiar with them, especially Brian here lately. He's been on the show a few times, keeping us hot and heavy and showing us what's going on. You know, Brian's a real great media influencer, and we've got our good friend Chris Payne also in the background. You know, he's got some tips and tricks. He had a request come up, and he's got some ideas to share tonight. So, without further ado, let's bring on Brian. Brian Schiller, Paddle and Fin.
What's up, brother?
In the house, Big Daddy. So, what's going on, man?
Back home, to this this horrible thing they call work, you know?
I'm telling you, man, I don't know about you, but I still haven't caught my sleep up yet. I mean, you're supposed to go back to work to relax and after a hard trip at that awful resort down in Tennessee. I mean, my goodness, it was so hard to be there for a week. Can you hear the sarcasm in my voice, man?
Yeah, I feel you, bro, because I got down there, well, I was in Nashville Tuesday, so I got over to the marina Tuesday night, and then I didn't leave there till yesterday. I think it was afternoon, like noon or something. I got home last night. I think it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock Central Time. So Yeah, it's rough, man. It's rough. I even made a comment to Richard and Wendy when I was down in the marina saying goodbye yesterday. I was like, I don't want to leave. I could just stay here and work on the dock. And they were like, yes, absolutely.
Definitely.
But Yeah, unfortunately that didn't happen. So back to the normal hustle and bustle every day, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so kudos to you and the Paddle and Fin crew. If people go look at the Paddle and Fin page, I saw where you guys had a few group photos out on the water on the porch. For the folks that might not be familiar, most of the folks that are watching, we got 5 people that's jumped on so far. These guys are a group of people that share their knowledge, share their passions. They all have shows that they run on Brian's network at Paddle and Fin. Not like Rusty Hook, they have their own brands like Bass Thumbs from the boy from California. Then we got Jason, and he has his show. Was it Rockstar or something like that? Or
Rockstar. Who's
yeah,
that?
is that Jason? JP? What,
JP,
four star,
4-star fishing.
4-star rocks. Oh yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Rockstar.
it's 4-star fishing because he's from Chicago. He's a Chicago firefighter, and the Chicago flag has 4 stars on it.
Beautiful,
So that's
beautiful.
that's the innuendo there.
But yeah, so I mean, they do a show. They share it to Brian's network, and then Brian's he's also
It
networked
it's
in
all
with
of our networks.
Wayport News and stuff. Yeah, I mean, you're just like the glue that brings everybody together. So
I guess you could say that. Sure.
yeah, yeah. I mean, but now your event, outstanding, bro.
No, it was a good turnout, man. Like I told all our folks, because it's not only the event, it's also the one time a year that all of the paddle and fin folks get together in one spot. And I think this weekend was the most hosts that we've had together all in one spot. There might have been one year before that where there was about the same, but we were missing a couple. But the event, man, it was great. Everything ran smooth. Obviously, beautiful venue, and shout out to all the West Virginia guys that made the trip, man. And I know they had but good things to say, and they were really happy they did make the trip. The fishing was hot, cold, hot,
Oh,
cold, hot, cold. And but that's Dale Hollow Lake for you. I have a love-hate relationship with that body of water. One day I absolutely love it, and the next day I'm like, I'm never coming back here. But that's what makes us better fishermen, man, is
yeah.
just getting out there and grinding through that. But the event, man, no hiccups. Nobody got DQ'd or Susie Q'd, as you like to call it.
Yep,
And
yep.
the only fish we had to deny was by our good friend John Graves, and that's because he took it after the submission deadline.
Hey,
Or not the submission deadline, but
so
lines out.
I'm gonna pull up something here, Bubba. So I got the paddle and fin results rolling here.
Okay. Right on.
So day one, man. So as you did when you were up there doing your MC ceremonies, talking about the event, looks like there were 152 total fish caught for the event, but on day one, it looks like we only had 4 people that had the 5 fish limit out of 43 contestants. So that's tough
It might have
fishing.
been more than there.
Well, let me
Might
take a
have
look.
been
Let me scroll down. I see.
because I know there was one guy that caught 4 bigs.
Yeah, it
and
was
couldn't
4.
get his 5th fish.
Yeah, that was Trent England had an 18, 17, 5, 17, and 16. Then you had Robert Knoll had a 20, a 19, then a 15 and a 14. So that was
Robert Knoll.
that 3-way
Yeah,
tie.
And Robert Knoll won big bass both day 1 and day 2. So he won big fish. He just couldn't get all 5. It was
Yeah.
unfortunate, but he went home with some money because he won big fish day 1, day 2, and then I think what he take 4th overall. I think it was.
Well, let's take a look at the overall standings. Total standings, Robert, he was 6th, so he was just out of the
6th.
money.
Okay, money. Yeah,
Yeah.
right on. Well, and the first guy in the money in 5th place, Brian Slayton, first kayak tournament he had ever fished. I know he had sent me a few messages before heading down there. Just wanted to make sure he had everything in order, understood the rules right, and came down and cashed a check, which was awesome. And during the awards ceremony, he got a little emotional,
Oh yeah,
which was cool. So I was extremely proud of him, man. He didn't have the best day one. Day two was a lot better for him, and he made it into the money, which was cool. And then not only that, but we had Shane Lamont came out from California, like you said, but his wife came as well. His kayak fished a little bit with him here and there, but I think it was the night before they were leaving. Shane had called me and he's like, "Hey, my wife's gonna enter the tournament," and I was like, "That's awesome, dude."
yeah,
And he actually beat him, which was awesome. It was good for her because they were asking Susie and I, like, what are the rules on like unhooking fish and stuff. Like, she had not really experienced like unhooking a fish, putting it on the board, taking photos and stuff like that. And I know her and Susie had an extensive conversation the one night about it, and she took all her photos perfectly, unhooked all the fish, landed the fish herself, like, just did an awesome job. And it's cool to see that,
yeah, definitely. I mean, I wished Beth could have made it down. She was disappointed, but there's always next time. It's a bad,
Heck
but
yeah,
anyway, man. So great tournament. I mean, I want to just give you a complete kudos for how you ran it. A lot of the guys from West Virginia said they felt like it was so relaxed. It felt like a home tournament, really relaxed, no pressure, but it had a big time feel. So kudos. And and you didn't even do half of what you done last year with video boaters on the water running around, video introductions and stuff. I mean, this one was really just chilled and laid back compared to what your production last year. So outstanding event, man.
Yeah, we try to give it that feel, no pressure. We almost treat it like a boondoggle, where it's just a bunch of like-minded individuals getting together, having a great time. Yeah, there's a tournament going on. It's for a 2-day tournament, $80 entry fee. It's low cost, but it puts a little money in the prize pool at the same time. And that whole event was just to get everybody together, kind of kick off the season, so to speak. Especially for us folks in the north. It's
still cold.
It's nice
frozen
out today,
yeah.
but I mean, when I was down there Saturday night, my wife had sent me a photo, and there was 4 inches of snow on the ground in my backyard. It is all melted since, but like, it's that event that I look forward to, or the one trip every year I look forward to every year, just because I get to see everybody. I get to see guys like yourself, John Graves, all the paddle and fin crew, things like that. And I think that's what goes a long way. It's like everybody super friendly. Everybody had a great time. Everybody's there to help each other out. I know there was a lot of guys talking like, what did you catch him on? Because I couldn't catch him on this or that. And what part of the lake should I go to? And everybody was sharing information because, like we said, everybody, wanted to make sure everyone was having a good time. So
definitely. Hey, man. So shout out to Garrett for watching, Rick Garavaglia, Johnny Cart, Marty Jane, Lou, Lee Hawk. Garrett, I haven't forgot you, buddy. I got that paperwork in your box. Brock Howell. Hey, buddy. Heath Mullins and Michael Ridenauer. Thanks for tuning in. So, hey, the other thing I wanted to show, Brian, while I got you on here, and I'm going to try to bring that up here real quick, is the wildlife that we were seeing down there, man. I caught video of a coyote. I got 2 videos of a bobcat, but my videos were not nearly as good as my friend and WK member Brandon Honecker. He got some great video footage. It's on his Facebook page, but I got here and I'm gonna flip it up here and let everybody see this. So So as you can see, it's on a rock face right next to the water. And according to the video, it's a little low right now, but that bobcat is actually eating grass. And you can see it. And I believe it might be a big male marking territory, because it looks like it comes up the side there, and you see his tail fly up. And I don't know if he's spraying or what, but yeah, he's a big, beautiful cat. The video gets a little better here, folks, so stand by. Brandon's readjusting his camera. The cat sees him, and he starts coming down the hill there, looks at him, but not worried about him too much at all. He just decides, there's a human there. I think I'm going to slide up the hill. So. But yeah, man, I think that was pretty cool. What'd you think?
Yeah, a lot of wildlife, guys. I know you saw a couple different bobcats. Shane and his wife saw one. You saw a coyote. I know I saw a couple turkeys. Jimmy almost hit a deer one night. I know Shane and his wife were out, and the one thing they really wanted to see was a bald eagle. They don't have many of them out in California, and they actually saw one fly down out of a tree, and got some really cool video footage of that as well. So,
Shane? Was that Shane?
Yeah, Shane. Yep. Okay. Shane and his wife. Yeah, and it's one of those spots, man. You're blown away by how much wildlife is actually around there. But when you think about it, it's pretty much in the middle of nowhere. So there's tons and tons and tons of wildlife out there. And I know all the turkey hunters were starting to pull in as we were getting ready to take off. And, turkey season's in full effect. I know I saw a couple of those strutting around down there. So, but just a beautiful location, and the wildlife is extremely abundant down there.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, let's take a quick break here, guys. Hang tight with us. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to bring on Chris Payne of Payne Outdoors, who's got some tips regarding soft plastics for us.
This episode is sponsored by our friends at Payne Outdoors. No nonsense, straight talk, outdoor analyst, and custom plastics. Guggen Brothers Custom Tackle, custom-made jigs and Ned rigs. Feel-free kayaks. Pedal, paddle, or power, there's something for everyone. And Yak Gadget, proudly supplying you with American-made kayak fishing accessories and gear. Now, let's join our host, John Rapp.
All right, guys, we're back. Let's take a moment to thank you guys for joining us. Ricardo is watching us. That's the newest member we got watching. Appreciate y'all tuning in. I think right now is you got a little recap, the first part of the show from Brian regarding what we did down at Eastport and how well the 2-day tournament for Paddle and Fin went. But let's bring on Chris now. Chris Payne, in the house, in the Mag Kitchen. How are you, brother?
I'm good. How are you, John?
Good, my friend. So, we missed you, but we will see you now and again. Hopefully, we can get you to make that 11-hour trek northeast to Tennessee next year. It's going to be April 22nd and 23rd. I will keep reminding you for the next year while we're doing this show to have some vacation time set aside. So I tell you what, these West Virginia boys that are buying these plastics from you, we're going to fund your trip over the next year. I promise you.
Yeah, it's not so much the fundage. It's the time.
I got you.
Time is the priority.
I got you, man. I love that hat, man. I love that hat. Looking good,
Thanks.
guys. You got those hats on in your store for the guys to jump on? Not yet.
No,
Nope.
I'm not going to.
Ooh, no. So
I'm not going to.
Man.
They're very, very limited edition. Quite frankly, I think the cost to get a hat like this built. By the time that I try to make any kind of money on it, it's just cost prohibitive. And most people look at that and they're like, I'm not going to pay that for a hat.
Yeah, I'm not going to pay $50. So
yeah, it wouldn't be 50, but they'd probably have to list for $30, and then you got another $5 to ship them. I mean, a $35 hat, and not a whole lot of dudes buying a $35 hat. So,
yo, man, the PayPal's on its way.
All right.
Hey, so man, I understand that you had a request tonight to provide some advice. So, won't you tell us about that?
Yeah. So, good buddy Rick out there is, he's packing for all these tournaments, and he's like, man, have you guys talked about like soft plastics and organization and how you're storing them, how you're carrying them on the kayak? And I was like, I don't think we have, which is kind of funny considering soft plastics is kind of what I'm doing. So I wanted to take a minute and kind of explain what I do. I fish soft plastic. I always have soft plastics on me. I fish soft plastics probably about 80% of the time. If I'm not throwing soft plastics, I'm throwing a jig, a jackhammer, a swim bait, or a crankbait, or jerkbait. Crankbaits and jerkbaits kind of in the same thing there. But 80% of the time, there's a soft plastic in my hand, just because that's what I'm comfortable with. I feel like I can cover water with it, and so I fish a lot of soft plastics. So I have to make decisions. And making decisions, just having a bag or a roll up or something like that makes it kind of hard to see on the fly or during gear organization. And so what I've moved to is, here, it'll be easier if I just show you kind of what I'm doing.
Well, I certainly hope my friend Jonathan Abshire is watching this show, because on the video that I shared with him in my big mashup, he was catching the devil, and from my buddy John Gillespie, because he was carrying probably 60 pounds of plastic on his Hobie.
Okay, yeah, that's probably a little much. So what I carry for all of my tackle, so this is my terminal tackle, my hard baits, and everything. I carry two things. So right now, until I can get my hands on a new 13x16 black pack from Yak Attack that just came out. Right now I'm using the Flambeau Tough Crate, right? Because my traditional black pack that I've used for years does not fit 3700 series boxes with the lip. And so I use these big Plano Edge boxes, and the Tough Crate fits it. And so that's what I've been using for the last couple of years. I will be moving back to the black pack, I guess April 8th. So into this week, I'll put my order in because I think that's when they go live. But I do not carry my soft plastics in this. I carry my soft plastics in this. So when I'm on the water, this is a Flambeau box. They're like $8, right? They're super cheap. They're actually cheaper than a speed bag, than those worm speed bags that you can buy. It allows you to divide them into 4 different sections in here if you wanted to. I leave mine wide open. And before every trip, I crack this bad boy open, and I have all of my soft plastics. Not sure how well you can see that with the light. I have all of my soft plastics that are currently in rotation, in season, on pegs by color style. So I have my greens here. I have my clears and my whites here. I have my yellows and browns here, and I have all my blue variants here, right? If I'm fishing a lot of red, I may have a peg of red, like straight red, but we're already out of that season here. Like the fire crawl, the red and the orange is really already out of season here. That's a January, February early March thing. We're into April, so we're out of that. But what I'll do is I will crack this box open, and I'll just be like, okay, let's see, yes, and that's a yes, and that's for sure a yes. I don't even offer that color.
Let me zoom in there real quick.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding you, man.
Actually, well, I don't mind showing it to you. I don't know how well it translates. This is a.
It looks like a root beer, brownish root beer type color.
So yeah, it's definitely not coming through then. It is a green pumpkin top that has red flake in it. So it's our watermelon fire mixed with our green pumpkin pepper on the top. On the bottom, it is a champagne pink with a little bit of black flake in it. It's almost a rainbow trout pattern when you hold it up to the light.
Speaking of which, talking about colors, I noticed that you had a TikTok video that you shared the other day with you were trying to get a whitish pearl. I can't remember your color. How did your second attempts come out?
So this is Ghost Ice.
This is
the color. This is the color from Sixth Sense that Josh Jones has been catching all those 15-pounders in Texas on. And as soon as he announced what that color was, they became impossible to find. Everybody went to buy this color. It's a very tricky color. So the first attempt didn't come out great. The second attempt came out better. We're not quite there yet. I have figured out some of the things that we're doing. But just to show you a comparison, we're still a little too gold here, and that's because the gold is on the outside.
Gotcha.
So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to core shot it. I'm going to home a core shot, which basically means I'm going to shoot the outside of the bait first. I'm going to remove the pin from the middle of it, and then I'm going to shoot the interior of the bait and the tail.
Nice.
And so it takes a lot of effort to do that, especially manually. But I'm determined to match that color just because I'm stubborn-headed like that. So the second attempt will be up on TikTok later. It's probably going to take 4 or 5 attempts to get that to where I'm happy with it, because they're using a lot of very advanced techniques for this color. They're using 2 different types of pearl. They're using a lot of translucents. They're using a touch of white dye. They're using some very small hollow flake. They're using some gold powder along with some small gold flake. Like, it is super complex for what it looks like. Like, when you just look at it in the store, it looks just kind of white. And then I hold it up to the light, and I can see the blues and the golds and the clears. Like, it's a little bit insane, quite honestly. So
sorry, I didn't mean to get you off topic, bro. I was just thinking about that.
No, that's good. And just as a side note, for you guys that are not on TikTok, man, you got to hop on TikTok and look at some of these baits that folks are making. We did a live. I think I talked about it last week a little bit, but we did a live where a guy challenged me to try to make watermelon seed, and I didn't have the watermelon seed zoom color with me. He just told me kind of what it looked like. I couldn't look it up because I was online at the time live. And so he's like, well, it's watermelon, but it's light and you can kind of see through it, and it's got black flake and this and that. And I was mixing it like a drop at a time and showing it on the live. And we actually ended up with the Zoom watermelon seed color on the live as we went through. So TikTok can be a lot of fun if you control the algorithm. So if you're looking at a bunch of dancing girls that are well endowed, that's all you're going to see. Some guys may like that, but I'm there for the bait maker information, and so like almost every other video that I'm seeing are different guys making baits with different techniques and trying to color match and do stuff like that. And so you can very quickly hone a craft and create kind of this network. There's this whole network of bait makers that I've gotten to know that are all across the world. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so back to Rick's question. So what do I do, right?
Sorry, Rick.
Yeah. So let's say I'm just going to take a soft plastics trip. I'm still going to take this box, right? I like this box over a bag. Every speed bag I've ever used leaks, right? It lets water seep in, whether it's through a zipper or through a weep hole or however it's made. Like every single one of them leaks. You cannot put it in the bottom of a kayak and not have scuppers in it. Like if you have water on your deck, so if your scuppers are out or, whatever, you're going to get water in your speed bags. So I moved away from that and I went to this hard plastic. It stands up just a little bit. It's got some just tiny little feet that keeps it up off the ground. Not that it needs it, but it's hard plastic. It's like $8 at Academy or wherever. I've been super impressed with it. It comes with the 4 dividers. I don't use the dividers because some of my worm bags are longer, but I will just think about my trip, and this helps me kind of focus, right? Think about my trip. Where am I going to be fishing? What am I going to be fishing for? What are the conditions I'm most likely going to fish in? And then I will grab the different things that I think are going to work. And that also forces me to use those things, right? And so I'm likely to keep a bait in my hand just a little bit longer. There are some staples that I always have. I always have Moody Blue with me anytime I go out, just because it's cashed me a lot of checks, and it's just an all-around great color in every water condition. But all kinds of different fun stuff. We've got some funky colors that we carry, that we've made custom. We have different body styles, right? So if I need that finesse Mr. Roboto style, or I need that stick bait, we'll carry some variations. But by having it all on pegs and organized on pegs, I can very quickly pull what I need, put it in this box. This box fits behind every kayak seat, right? It's narrow enough that it fits behind every kayak seat. You only need 6 inches behind the seat for this to be able to fit. It'll fit right in the well, and it flops up, and so you've got access to it behind your seat without having to pull it up into your lap, which is great. For those guys that have fished center console style kayaks, if you don't have a center console, this fits in between your feet without any issue. And it's also a good box if you're not going to carry 20 or 30 packs of soft plastics with you. Throw like a scale, or for those 10-pounder emergencies, or something else, documents wise in here, or your pliers or something like that, just to always have on you.
And you can also set your hog trough on that when you're measuring your fish when it's between your legs.
Yeah, so I don't do that anymore because it gives them too much elevation. Right. And so I often like when I use my hog trough, I will actually lay it in front of me like a center console on the deck of the boat that I'm in, and take a picture of my fish a long ways and make sure it's all in there. That way, if that fish flops, the fish is either flopping towards me or away from me, but it's inside the gunnels at all times. I stopped measuring fish on my lap. Nope.
Oh, yeah.
There's money in them there fish, and I don't like losing it.
I got you, man. Hey, let's take a quick little break, and then we'll bring you, Brian, on, and we'll wrap up this show. We'll talk about whatever we talk about. So,
cool.
Payne Outdoors, straight talk, an outdoor product analyst and custom soft plastic maker. Check out our reviews and products at our website, payneoutdoors.com.
Feel Free Kayaks, something for everyone. Pedal, paddle, or power, we can outfit you to meet your needs. For more information, visit feelfreeus.com.
Kayak Gadget offers all kinds of kayak accessories such as motor mounts, anchor systems, and other track-based items to make your time more enjoyable on the water. Visit their Facebook page, search Yak Gadget.
Guggen Brothers Custom Tackle specializes in jigs and Ned-style lures. Brothers who know what it takes to put fish in the boat. Check out their Facebook page. Search Guggen Brothers Custom Tackle.
Payne Outdoors, Straight Talk, an outdoor product analyst and custom soft plastic maker. Check out our reviews and products at our website, payneoutdoors.com.
Feel free kayaks, something for everyone. Pedal, paddle, or power, we can outfit you to meet your needs. For more information. Alright guys, we're back, and I'm going to bring up our screen here with everybody on it. So, okay, here we go. So, top left, we've got Brian Schiller, and then top right, we got Chris Payne, and I'm filling the bottom screen. Brian, you just watched Chris answer a question regarding soft plastics. What are your thoughts, and how do you do yours when you're out running around?
Not gonna lie to you, I didn't hear it because my boss called me and I had to mute the phone. So what was the question, man?
No, man.
Sorry.
No, so the question was how do you transport and carry your soft plastics when you go fishing? Do you use a tackle bag, a box, or anything like that? So Chris gave his suggestion on how he would suggest people carry it by using a 6-inch clear plastic box that he uses. Did you say it was Flambeau?
Yeah, it's a Flambeau box, like an $8 little box.
So right here it is. I know you're going to see if you're watching there on the delay.
I use something very similar. It's I stick all my plastics in like little plastic totes like that I think I bought from like Home Depot or something. And then I have them all organized, and I'll write on the lids like, TRDs, and I'll put all my TRDs in there, and then shaky head worms go in a separate one, and I put those all in a bigger Plano tote, and I bring those with me everywhere I go. That's why everybody makes fun of me that I have the rolling tackle shop when I show up anywhere. Because I remember so much stuff with me.
I remember your boxes at the house at the retreat, man. You guys were like a tackle store. That's for no doubt. You and Jay together with all the stuff y'all were packing. I mean, good grief.
No, I had way more than Jay. That's for sure. Jay doesn't bring much, but I like it that way because then when I get to where I'm going, I'll pull individual bags out, and then I got like plastic bags I'll throw things into to throw in the kayak to bring with me. But like as far as like just normal storage or transport, that's typically what I do. Is the same thing as Chris.
Well, I got to say, I've learned something tonight. Thank you, Rick, for asking that question, because I personally use a Cabela's big orange tackle bag, and I've got mine. I got mine broken down in just to Z-Man, and then everything else, whatever it is. So my weighted, the ones that'll go on a Ned hook, a weighted hook, and then I got the ones that I throw like on my Texas rigs. So yeah, outstanding info, man. I'm sorry, Chris. I know you're disappointed. I'll get better, man. I'll get better, bud. I'll get better. I promise.
I yell at my old man all the time, man. He throws all his stuff in a duffel bag, and then he spends like 20 minutes looking for one bag of plastics. And I'm like, this is your problem, dude. Like, that's 20 minutes you could have caught 5 fish, you know? But yeah. I get it.
All right. Chris, any more info, brother?
I would just say the more organized you are before you get on the water, the better your day is going to be. And so if you're living in chaos, and just kind of throwing a bunch of stuff in a bag, like Shill's dad, there's a lot of wasted time there. And I don't like that. My time's kind of limited right now. I'm not getting to fish as much as I want to. And so when I'm on the water, I want to maximize that. I want to know, I will usually pick about 10 color/styles, and I'll only take about 10 to 12 bags of soft plastics with me.
I got you.
and that's it. And that's it. Because if you have too many options, you're not going to hold enough stuff long enough in your hand to really be able to figure out if that's the ticket or not, right? When you've got access to an entire tackle store, you tend to throw an entire tackle store. Either that, or you're just hauling around a whole bunch of gear that you're never going to throw. Like if you're a dude that's going to throw a white jackhammer with a Zacho on the back of it all day long anyway, why are you packing 80 pounds of gear?
Right.
Like, what's the point, right? They tell you when you want to learn a technique to take just that thing, right? And if we all realistically look at what we do during certain times of the year, we fish from memory a lot of times. Well, this worked last year at this lake, and so I'm probably going to throw that again, right? Well, think about what you are catching fish on and what you aren't catching fish on. And right now my lakes are muddy, and so I know that a shad-colored crankbait that dives to 15 to 20 feet is not going to do anything. They're not going to be able to see it unless you daggum thump them in the head with it. And so I leave those at home. I analyze the situation before I ever get to the water.
I tell you what I learned. I learned a lot this weekend down there, Brian, because I had my hog trough, or not hog trough, but not only my catch board and my fish grips, they were tied on to the edge of the boat, and both of them had the little curly type things that curl up, that hook into them. And when I would get a snag in my line and my bait caster, and I'd jerk that line out, and I'd start reeling it back in, then it would get caught in those curly things. I'm like, so that's the first thing that I'm going to do the next few days after is reorganize how I've got my deck and my stuff that are tied on, so I don't have those issues. That costs me many minutes trying to get my line untied and untangled. So that's something that deck organization, Chris, that might be something we need to do one week.
Yeah. So I think once, so I've got a new boat coming, that will be in probably the next 3 to 4 weeks. And I will probably have it here in the Mad Lab here, and we can kind of walk through some of this stuff. I'll take the camera off the tripod, and we'll just kind of walk through how to set up a new boat.
That's
and how I figure out where I'm going to mount stuff before I ever drill holes. And I'll show everybody the masking tape trick that I absolutely love, and I think everybody should know it if you're going to mount any kind of thing permanently on a boat.
Yeah, so, I'm going to need to watch that episode myself, or watch that because intently after we're done, because I got a couple of boats coming in. I got one of those 103s that I just picked up that I'd like to do some of the things like Brian and like Rick has done, that I'll probably show later on the Feel Free podcast, is like, put those yak wires and yak kits that with the toggle switches and stuff, include lights, some USB ports in the back. So, I mean, those are pretty high tech stuff. Is that what you're going to do too?
Well, so yeah, so I'm associated with Yak Power. I've worked with John Jordan and Bass Pro Shops on Yak Power since before it was actually Yak Power. But I'm tired of soldering stuff, and I play in the saltwater enough that I'm not messing with solder joints and butt splices and any of that crap anymore.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'll be doing a full Yak Power install on it. I made the switch from the oval 8-port over to the 5-port that is wireless and Bluetooth. So I don't actually have to mount a controller on my boat, and I can keep it in my PFD on a lanyard, and then I can just turn it on and off. What that also allows me to do is, like, let's say it's early in the morning and I've got my boat positioned on the side of the boat ramp, and there's a bunch of bass boaters that are putting in. If I forgot to turn on my lights, I can just reach in my pocket because my PFD's on and just click, and then it lights up the entire bank, and they're like, "Oh, there's something there." Okay,
that's
don't
great.
hit it,
man. When are we going to do that one? When you get your new boat?
It'll probably be about a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we might want to do something on that Yak Power before that, and then we can see something. I'd like, because everybody's going to be rigging up now here in the near future. It's 1st of April, getting stuff ready to roll for the full season. That sounds like a great episode.
And I've got a ton of Yak Power stuff on YouTube. So if you search Chris Payne Yak Power on YouTube, it'll pull up installs on a bunch of different boats.
Beautiful.
Bonafide, Hobies, Ascends, all kinds of stuff. And I walk you through some of the stupid stuff and some of the easy stuff, because I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, and there's some things that you need to know. But if you're putting in the old style port, you don't want to accidentally drill a 2 1/4 inch hole when you need a 2 1/8.
Gotcha.
Just don't ask me how I know.
Well, hey, let's. I guess we ought to go ahead and wrap up the show, man. Brian, you got any final thoughts on your Eastport Marina trip, the Paddle and Fin retreat / tournament 2-day event?
Yeah, it was a great event. Enjoyed seeing everybody. Glad everybody had a great time. While we were down there this weekend, we set the date for next year, so folks can start planning early. It's going to be April 22nd and 23rd of 2023. So look forward to getting back there and seeing everybody and just having a great time on the water, sharing laughs, stories, and catching fish with everybody. So, and shout out to you, my man. You took home the Sportsman Award that we do every year, and thank you for everything you helped with and helped contribute and help make that event.
Well, I told you,
a good one.
There in person, that was not necessary. I do things for my friends, and you did not have to do that. You could have given it to anybody, but I do appreciate you doing that. So, thank you, Chris. Regarding your tackle solutions, final thoughts?
Keep it simple, stupid.
I like that KISS principle.
Biggest problem.
I like that KISS principle. Yep. All right, guys. Hey, appreciate you. Chris, we'll hit you up again for next week. Brian, God bless you. Good luck on the rest of your week for all the podcasts that you run with New Canoe and with your OG show on Thursday night. So be blessed, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it, brother. As always, man, it's a pleasure to be here, and look forward to the next one, my friend.
Definitely. I appreciate you. And I still need to get with you so we can get me hooked up with Anchor FM so I can get these over to the network. So
let's do it. Let's do it. Let's make it happen, man.
Let's do it. All right. Sounds good. All right, man. That was Brian Schiller, Chris Payne in the house. Rusty Hook, episode 17, wrapping up. Thank you for checking us out. We appreciate you watching. Look for us next Tuesday as we'll come up with another raw and unfiltered episode of the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast. Way out of here.